Hey guys, Czar here. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good morning so far. It is Wednesday, hump day, June 26th, and it's about 45 seconds away from the open. I'm going to repeat the same thing I repeat every day because I'm a creature of habit. I believe that most traders should be ritualizing their trading practice. This is the business of trading, and business can be quite boring and quite repetitive. But the goal here is to extract profits and to make money. It's not to have excitement and to trade. I'm not here to trade. I'm here to make a living, and that sometimes involves taking trades if the market gives me no choice. Otherwise, I sit on my hands, and I get paid to sit on my hands because sitting on my hands can really help me avoid losses, and losses are business expenses, and your net profits come from your revenues, your income, minus your expenses, right? So if we can reduce that expense side of the equation, good things can happen. There's the first few seconds of the New York Open, NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. Three sisters, 1 minute charts, VWAP, volume weighted average price, and 2.5 standard deviation bands on either side. I will be cutting out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, things like that to keep this video nice and tight. I know that many of you appreciate that. Just zeroing in on the most important things that are happening. I'm going to be very patient here as usual. I'm not just going to jump in because something happens to grab my attention. I'm just going to wait and see what happens here and consider the bigger picture as well. Let's take a look at the daily, guys. Interesting things happening here on the daily. We have been in pullback mode here on the NASDAQ in a rampaging bull market. This morning we broke to new highs, took out yesterday's high and the day before, which was Monday's high, and now have pulled back into the inside of yesterday's trading range. You see that there? In other words, we flipped negative. Same sort of thing here, or similar on the S&P, and dropping, breaking 3 days lows here on the Dow, which has been a weaker picture over the last few weeks here, compared with the S&P and the NASDAQ. And now we have the open range set, guys. There you see it there. Dropping below on the S&P, dropping below on the Dow. Dow very much these days doing the opposite of the NASDAQ, and today's no exception. Dropping on the Dow, rallying on the NASDAQ. And again, I'm just going to wait and be patient here, looking for some cohesive direction before making any moves. If I make any moves at all, my default position, as I mentioned, is no trading unless the market gives me no choice. Here's the power grid, daily, 30-minute and 1 minute chart on the right-hand side. All right, I also have a London open range for the UK session. I was up at 2:45 this morning. Did a bit of trading in the London session. Interesting things happened on the NASDAQ or the DAX this morning. Let me just show this to you. This is interesting. You see that there? Let me make this bigger so you can see. This is the DAX. Big drop. This is 30 minutes, by the way. These are 30-minute candles. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 down candles in a row, essentially for most of the London session here this morning. How many points was that? Approximately, let's take a look. About 300 points, DAX points. But let's get back to the task at hand here, which is the NASDAQ. I'm going to delete this marker. I'm going to put it right here. Shift it down. We got 2 equal bodies here so far. That can change very, very quickly. This is the 30-minute chart. So pretty messy here this morning, guys. Again, I'm not going to be doing anything. It's only 9:33, almost 9:34, pulling back into the open range here on the NASDAQ. We are sitting in or on the opening range in the S&P and rallying back into the open range on the Dow. Nothing to do. And so I'll put you on pause. I may even go grab a cup of coffee just to really make sure that I'm sitting on my hands and doing nothing. I'll be back. So this daily is giving us a mixed picture here, guys, having broken yesterday's and the day before high and now pulling back in. It's obviously this is the pullback move right here that happened in London. We have now broken a prior candle high after putting in a bottoming tail, a hammer candle if you like, in the pre-market, but that's not enough for me to do anything and act upon yet. It's definitely a mixed picture at the moment. There's the Three Sisters really asleep here in the open ranges. And these aren't, 1 hour open range. There's only 1 minute, and we're just obviously going nowhere or gone nowhere so far. For those who are interested, guys, what I'm doing right now is just monitoring my body. I felt a little bit of tension in my hands. I'm not sure why. This could be a little bit of a anticipation of a potential trade coming up. Who knows? So I'm just releasing, kind of wiggling my fingers back and forth, squeezing my hands and releasing, squeezing my hands and releasing, shaking them out a bit, my arms to my side. I'm doing it right now as we speak. I'm breathing when I have you on mute. I kind of take a nice deep breath. I do 4, 7, 8 breathing a lot, which is in breath on a count of 4, holding for a count of 7, and releasing the breath for an 8 count. Right? So that's in and then hold. That was 7, and then and that's out for the count of 8. Hopefully that wasn't too annoying. But in for 4, hold for 7, and out for 8. Buy stop order, guys, above the high of the day. Means high of the New York session. Buy stop order. Looking for just 1 hour here potentially. Pushing up, as you can see, on all 3. Trying to here on the Dow as well, but ignoring the Dow for the most part. Here we go. And not yet. And I'm in, guys. And I'm in. Long the NASDAQ. Looking for a push higher here. Let's see if the dip buyers are coming in here. And now it's the waiting game. I'll bring you back and we'll discuss this trade in more detail. And there it is, guys. Fairly quick trade, nice and clean. Market open play. Obviously, we have been driving all the way down here through the UK session. Put in a nice rejection candle here, a hammer candle with a bottoming tail, right? And then breaking above. But I wanted to see some more structure play out here. The break above, of course, was right here on the open. I rarely enter on the first break of the open range just for the sake of breaking the open range. So I want to see this play out a little bit, the tug of war between the bulls and the bears, and then finally a break into new highs after settling this tug of war somewhat and resolving to the upside, taking that move. A resumption of this early very bullish action overnight, which right before the open, by the way, pulled back down into a neutral to almost a bearish blue body on the open. And I kind of warned my group to make sure you take a look at this and see what it is in context. And of course, that is the orderly pullback that we saw here, was that pullback right here in that wick. And then a resumption here at the zone that goes back a couple of days. Thanks for being here today, guys. Nice 1 hour to start the day. It is 9:53. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you soon.